Well, here we are, the first little Everyman IT, Eli the computer guy, show out in the wilds. We were about to go into the Baltimore Tech Breakfast over here at Towson's Global Incubator. Basically a little incubator that tries to help out little startup companies so they can go over and take over the world like Microsoft. So this is over at Towson University. We're going to that building over there, and I need to put this down and go over there because I think I'm about to be a little late. There's a lot of traffic on the road today. So we're going over. This is the Baltimore Tech Breakfast at the Towson Global Incubator inside Towson University's, well, whatever building that is over there. So apparently I was incorrect. That is not the Global Incubator. That thing is. So, running over there now. Okay, so we made it to the Towson Global Incubator. It was not across the road in the really cool, nice building. It's over here in the older office buildings. But oh well, that's Google's fault. So this is going to be the Baltimore Tech Breakfast. So you guys understand what's going on today. It's going to be a little long. It's probably going to be like 2 or 3 hours. But hey, I guess we get to figure out whether or not YouTube allows me to put up 3-hour videos. I think they like me. We're getting 2,500 views a day now. Do you know that? Yeah, that's pretty cool. And of course, my little iPhone isn't giving me the information I need. So basically, we're going to, it's all programmers in here, and they're all real programmers. This is not school. This is not instructional material. This is not me sitting up there with a stupid little whiteboard saying if-then statements. These are real programmers really trying to figure out real-world problems. So they're gonna talk about real-world problems. One of the big things here is I think they're gonna have like four programming companies in here today. That's what I was trying to find on my iPhone. And they're going to talk about the projects that they are currently working on and just ask for advice on how they can do things better. So that's the basic spiel of what's going to be going on today. Like I said, this is Baltimore Tech Breakfast, sitting here in Towson Global Incubator, part of Towson University. And I'm sure there's a lot more information, but I was tired this morning. They have coffee though. This is what's really cool. Like when you become a real computer geek, they give you real coffee. I mean, Panera. That's some good stuff. That's not Dunkin' Donuts right there. But anyways, so we're gonna go in there. It's gonna be about 2 hours. I'm gonna try to cut this in some way so that it makes some sense to you guys at home. But basically, just understand this is just a 2-hour conference of computer programmers all sitting there trying to hash out real-world problems that they're having with products that they're actually trying to push out to market. So with that, I'm going to try to go in there, shove this thing into a little corner, and like I say, don't sit there for 2 hours and try to watch this straight. This is not Tom Hanks. This is not Bruce Willis. This is programming. Go, I don't know, make breakfast while you watch this, and program other stuff while you watch this, and have it on while you take a shower. That's the kind of thing that this should be today. But anyways, with that, we're gonna go in there. This is gonna be the Baltimore Tech Breakfast. Like I say, about 2 hours. If you are in the Baltimore area, this is a meetup. You can come here. It's a completely free thing. And as long as you fake the funk and don't ask too many stupid questions, they allow you to come. And I mean, you can learn everything you want for free. So with that, as you know, I'm Eli the computer guy. This is Baltimore Tech Breakfast, and let me try to find some corner of that room and shove this thing into it. Okay, so we're now in with the geeks. We're officially in with the programmers. We're in with the geeks. I think this is set up properly. Just so you know, like if you're listening to people, there's some people over here that you can't see. So I need a wide-angle lens apparently to see everybody in the room, and well, I don't have one. So if you hear people talking and you don't know who it is, it's probably somebody that's sitting at this table right here. So with that, like I say, I'm gonna get some more coffee. I need some more coffee. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Who the hell wakes up at 8 o'clock in the morning? I sure as hell don't. So I'm gonna get some more coffee. Then, well, whenever this thing starts, I'll hit the record button again.
Come on in. Hey, it's Mr. B. BS. Go by your, go by his initials. What's up, these things? How many people are we here now? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, something like that. Okay, I think that's probably about half. I don't want to get us through too late. There's something actually have real work to do. But those, how many people have never been to a Baltimore Tech Breakfast? Okay, most of you. Okay, cool. This is our. I raised my hand too. I think our 4th Tech Breakfast. The first 3 were at the ETC, and they generally have been sort of topical discussions. This time we're trying a little something new for the beginning. We'll see how well this is received. If this works, we'll just keep doing it. The venue is something that we have a poll on. If you haven't voted in our poll, we always want to get an idea as to where people are based and where they want to go. We're trying out this venue, and Clay was awesome for letting us host it here at his house, and we'll hear a little bit from him in a few minutes. But what we're going to do here is some of the folks from the community are going to show some of the things they're working on. Use this as an opportunity to comment, criticize, complain, question, anything that starts with C or P or a K. We're up for that. But hopefully this will also help us provide more support to the people here in the community who are doing stuff. We love supporting people in the community doing stuff. Okay, so without further ado, I think maybe we'll start with Clay, who has mysteriously disappeared, probably answering the door. All right, so you're up first. You do your shtick, and we'll try to keep it roughly 10 minutes per. And then at the end, if we have extra time, we have a topic on scaling. We can talk a little about that, but we'll let it go where it goes.
Welcome, everybody. I know probably about a third or a quarter of you. I'm Clay Dixon, Director of Towson Global. Towson Global is the business incubator that is affiliated with Towson University. This is not a university building, but a lot of university activities are here. Most of you are familiar with business incubators. Who is not familiar with the business incubator? Okay, great. And the basic idea is that they provide a lot of different types of support to give entrepreneurial ventures a better chance of succeeding, and that often includes office space at a reduced cost and all the amenities that go with that, and then a lot of support services, mentoring, networking, assistance. Have to have a business plan usually to come into an incubator, but say if you're at the stage of going after venture capital or even angel investors, then usually you can get a lot of very concentrated support to help beef up your business plan. And Towson Global fits that basic model. We provide space here in this suite. Probably in the next year we'll be moving to a new space in a completely new built tower downtown, and probably double the size of the space that we have. We also provide all the support, the mentoring and networking assistance using our advisory board and in-residence experts like VP sales, lawyer, et cetera, to support the activities of the participating companies in the incubator. We have two types of participation or membership. One is a resident that actually has an office here, and two is an associate that works from wherever, excuse me, but can tap into all the support services. Towson Global is what's called a mixed-use incubator. We work with tech companies and non-tech. So we've got several video gamers here. We've got Exis, Band Game is an associate. We've got coffee importers. This is not Terra Coffee, it's Panera Coffee, which is still good.
Next time.
That's right, yeah, he's certainly happy to support. And so service providers, commodities, as well as technology. And so, you know, as I said, I've known a number of you for a while, and when Ron said, hey, would you like to host? I said, yeah, great. So, you know, if this venue works on occasion, we're certainly happy to do that and to be of support in any fashion. I've got some of our brochures that I'll pass around. Some of you know that this last year we launched a business plan competition, and there were several of you who participated. We are in the process of rolling out this coming year's business plan competition. So if you give me your contact information, we'll make sure that we get that out. We'll probably be sending out information next week on the one that's coming up. There'll be a number of workshops prior to this year's business plan competition, starting with how to write a good business plan and executive summary, how to do the market analysis, and then how to put together all of the financial documents. And then for those who are chosen as finalists, there will be a mandatory presentation boot camp in, I think it'll be March, so that you'll be better prepared for the May 2nd presentations that will be given. As I said, we work with a variety of different types of companies, and there is one group of young guys who are putting together a peer-to-peer sharing and collaborative consumption website, and they actually are looking for a technical partner, somebody who can help them in building their website. They're two business guys, but they're looking for a partner who's probably somewhat more like many of you. So if you might have some interest in being a potential partner there, I can give you a bit more information and connect you. So we're definitely happy to have you here and to be a resource. So let me, before I finish up, I'll just pass around these. Some of you, as I said, know us, and I've got my cards too. And again, if you're interested in the business planning competition, make sure you get me your information. Thanks.
I was flipping channels and I saw you on Maryland Public Television. I'm like, hey, I know that guy. And you were being interviewed. Now, I forget, does the state or the city or the county provide any assistance with Jared?
We get a significant Baltimore County grant, and so the county really is a big partner with the university behind this incubator. And then most of the incubators that support technology get small Medco grants. And those grants can be used to help with specific projects. So actually just yesterday I submitted to TEDCO the proposals for several companies who are going to tap into this year's grant. Awesome. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so am I going to go first? Yeah, and then we have and Dave next, and then Todd, and then I think we have one or two others who sent me an email.
All right.
Fine. Fine. Okay, there you go. All right. So, and does anybody need to do any demo stuff on the computer? Because
We can just always use mine.
right.
I think you have a PowerPoint, so.
Okay, so you need to do a network person network issue.
Yeah, anyone who needs internet's probably gonna have to use mine.
You don't have access to can you have access to the local Wi-Fi?
I should be able to get you in there.
With the right type of assistance.
It's a secured system, so I can have you.
Okay, so I'm Jim Hagan. I know some of you. I started this company, Bazilla, with Ron about a year ago. And I'm going to introduce you to the company and take you through a demo of one of our apps. Bazilla creates web-based applications that are used by small businesses in specialized markets or niche industries. Basically, the company is based on a really simple idea, which is that small businesses could benefit from the same types of software that only large businesses have access to, like ERP systems, business intelligence systems. The problem is that the market isn't being served very well for small businesses. The options that are out there, software-wise, for small businesses are these big, generalized apps that take kind of the one-size-fits-all approach and are basically kind of designed around best practices. You're really expected to kind of adapt your business to the software. Well, that doesn't really work for small businesses. These software options are also loaded with features. They take time and money to actually install, customize, and set up. They're usually installed locally or on network, so there's an ongoing expense with support and maintenance. So they're basically expensive to get started with, and they're expensive to own over the long term. And even if you go through all that as a small business, you end up with a solution that doesn't necessarily fit exactly what you need. So you end up with a lot of gaps in your overall software solution. So what small businesses end up doing is they end up using tools like Excel and paper and problematic, unreliable tools. So what they do need is they need software that really fits their problem more neatly. Just gives them the features that they need, no more, no less. They need solutions that don't take time and money to set up. They need solutions that are affordable. So what we're doing is we're creating dozens, hundreds of apps that meet the needs of specific small business groups in these specialized markets. Each app targets a specific need and solves it in a unique way for that group. So our apps are offered on a subscription basis. They're anywhere from $10 to $30 a month. We are web-based, so they're always accessible. You sign up and you get started right away. You don't have to have an ongoing, support cost or general support cost with IT maintenance. You just kind of, sign up and go. So this is our homepage here, and just looking at this gives you an idea of the sort of extent that we're trying to go to here. We've got a list here of all the different niche industries that we're targeting, and a whole bunch of apps that we're either in the process of building or in the process of doing some customer discovery on. So you can see that the range is pretty wide, anywhere from car dealerships to government to fraternities, real estate apps, travel and hospitality. What I'm going to do is show you a demo of one of our apps here called our Centralized Inventory Management app. This is for the e-retail niche industry. So each one of our apps has kind of like a landing page like this where we convert people into a trial. Every app comes with a free 30-day trial. This app in particular is created for e-retailers who have multiple stores, so multiple ways of selling their product. You can sign up for this app and get started right away. We connect with several e-commerce shopping cart types already. So I'm already logged in here, just to kind of jump forward quickly. Once you log into the centralized inventory management system, you can see it's just a very simple navigation at the top. You have just a few things to do in here. You manage your inventory centrally, you receive your orders, and then you kind of just change status on orders. You can say, okay, well, I've picked this order, I've packed this order, I shipped this order, and you can store some information with every stage there. Every one of our apps has sort of a dashboard that gives you some key insights into the specific thing that app is used for. This one is showing your top selling items, your lowest inventory items, your inventory movement over time. You get a list of your open orders at various states, so unpicked orders, unpacked orders, unshipped orders. We have an area here where you can manage your entire inventory list. I'll come back to this. Same deal for the orders that are coming in. But what I want to show you first is actually the settings for the stores. So the first thing you would do in here is you would set up your stores. And if you sign up for the first time, obviously this is an existing account. This is kind of our sandbox account, so there's a lot of dummy data in here. For the first time, you go through a wizard that takes you through the process of connecting to your e-commerce stores. Right now we support Shopify, Magento, Cartkeeper, Etsy. We're coming out with plugins for Inspire, BigCommerce soon, and there are a couple more on our roadmap. So you would have gone through the process to set up these stores, put in your credentials for those stores. And what happens here is that you can go in and update based off of the activity within that store. So this can happen manually by clicking the button I just clicked. It'll show you a summary of the items that you can import from that store. It will show you that actual list. If you don't have some information that's needed, like a SKU for an item, we'll automatically assign it and just highlight it in yellow for you. But this is kind of the manual way to update. You really don't have to do that typically. That would just be if you wanted to bring something in that you just changed on your Shopify store. Everything really happens automatically in the background. So the idea is if I have a Shopify store and something gets sold there, what will happen is that store on Shopify communicates with Bazzello, and Bazzello will take that new inventory count and then push that out to all of your other connected stores. So everything stays in sync. So a couple of use cases for this are, one is that if I have a physical retail shop, but I also sell things online, I want to make sure that I keep my inventory count in sync so that I can go in here, manually change inventory counts as I sell things out of my store, maybe manually put in those orders if I want to get that detailed tracking, or maybe I have a whole bunch of e-commerce stores that target different markets. So one use case that we've seen a lot of is someone who has multiple Shopify stores, let's say, each one is in a different language targeting a relevant market. So you can keep all of that in sync there. So once that's set up, then really the system kind of takes care of itself. If you go into the inventory management screen here and manually adjust a quantity, which can happen in this little drop down here, as you adjust these quantities, those new quantities get pushed out to all of your stores. When orders come in, they'll come in and they'll show up in this list. We have a little kind of status indicator here to show whether or not it's been picked, packed, or shipped. When it comes in, we take the quantity away from the available inventory that you've made to that store. Once you pick it, which I'll show you here, you can create a pick list. You can go through the process of choosing multiple orders to pick. You can choose which location. This supports multiple warehouse locations, so you can choose which location you actually want to pick that order from. You can do multiple of those and then create a pick list. And what you do with the pick list is typically you'll print that out. It'll basically be all the orders for a day. Let's say you'll do this at the end of the day. Take it to your warehouse and pick all the items for all of your orders at once. Usually you bring those back and you'll pack the individual orders. So we have a process in here for that, creating pack lists. When you pack an order, you go through and decide what other items you might want to add to that order. We have this packing supplies management area here. You can manage all of your supplies, like all of your boxes, all of your bubble wrap and your tape, all of those things, and you can decide, okay, for each package that I put out, how much of those materials am I using? So you can add those extra items here. You can also use that functionality to add promotional materials to your packages if you want to. So the idea here is you would create this packing list, print out the packing list, and include it in your shipment. You can also ship from here. Right now we're working on adding the ability to actually print your shipping labels. So when you go and process a shipment, you can actually print a label for the US Postal Service, UPS, or FedEx, and put in the tracking number, reference the tracking number, pull up the actual tracking site directly from here. So this is where we are so far with this app. Just kind of an interesting kind of side note is that as we developed this app, we've realized, although we're trying to go very niche and get very focused, we realized that this app isn't even getting narrow enough. We need to get even narrower. So what we're doing is we're actually in the process of taking this particular app and separating out some of the functionality so that we create this app that's focused specifically on inventory, and then we're going to have another app that it takes out sort of the packing and shipping features of this app and offer that separately because we're getting different kind of needs requests from our current customers and just through some of our customer development processes we've heard different things. And what we're going to do with those apps is actually get even more focused with our target markets. So instead of just a generalized e-retail inventory management system, for instance, we're going to offer this for specific e-commerce users. So people who use Etsy and sell things on Etsy specifically, they have unique problems, unique things to deal with inventory management. We'll have another version that's just for Shopify, another version that's targeted directly at Magento. What that's going to allow us to do is, one, it's going to allow us to market more easily to these groups because they'll be able to see themselves in the app a little bit better. We're going to use their terminology, make sure that we're solving their particular problems. But it's also going to let us kind of expand the functionality within each of those groups. Just as an example, Etsy users, Etsy charges you in kind of a strange way. So when you list something on Etsy, you don't get charged just for having, let's say, a coffee mug listed on Etsy. You get charged for every coffee mug that you make available in your inventory. So if you have 3 of those coffee mugs available, they charge you times 3. So what we're doing with our Etsy inventory management is that we're going to automatically keep that at a count of 1. So if something gets ordered, we'll take it down to 0 real quick, bump it back to 1 until you exhaust your inventory. So that's just an example of something that's going to be useful for an even more niche market. So that's where we are so far. Any questions or feedback? Yep.
Do you have live support? So say I'm one of your, clients.
Yeah, you mean like live chat kind of a thing?
Yeah, and I'm just like confused by a part of it and need to talk to someone.
Right,
a real
right.
person.
Yeah, that's something that I think we definitely will need to add. Right now, we just have we have forums, we have a ticket support system, various ways to get in touch with us, obviously with social media. We don't have a live chat system, but I think we'll have to go there because a big part of our value proposition is just that you guys forget about the support, don't hire tech people to support it. We're going to support it for you. So we have to be really responsive.
So you think you're going to do like a chat over like a 1-800 number?
Well, we do have a 1-800 number.
Oh.
So we have that set up, but well, it's not really 1-800, it's a Google Voice.
Right. Clearly.
Basically. But yeah, but I think that offering both probably would be a good idea because it's such a strong part of the value proposition.
Do you have your own accounting package, or do you have to integrate with someone else's?
Yeah, so another app that we have actually is an accounting sync app, which is actually rolling out hopefully Friday. We're hopefully working on that. And that one hooks up with QuickBooks, so all of your information is stored here, your inventory information, your order information, you can sync it to your QuickBooks. So right now we're starting with QuickBooks just because it's so popular with our current customers. We're going to be adding probably Xero, FreshBooks, Sage, other ones as well. So what we're trying to do is kind of basically take what is currently available out there, like I said, for large businesses, more of an ERP format, whittle that down to what these small businesses need. So for us, on the Zillow side, we're really creating a back-end engine that takes care of that whole spectrum and just kind of remixing that into all these individual specific apps. So really the customization that we make for a specific app for a specific industry is all just kind of happening on the interface layer.
And that's all cloud computing, so like if you're a customer, you,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, if you're a customer, you don't even worry about that. You just log in. As long as you have internet access, then you're able to use it.
And you said everything's for somewhere between $10 and $30 a month?
Yeah, somewhere that's our target price range. Everything's gonna
Pretty
fall
cheap.
somewhere in there.
So you
So
make-
how many customers does that mean you need in order to stay alive?
Thousands?
It's a volume business?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we need thousands of customers, but the idea, the idea behind the business model is that we don't need a whole lot of customers per app. So overall, we need a lot of customers, but we're creating Zaps for really small groups, for really specific purposes. And that's kind of what stands us apart. Other businesses, they try to do that for a niche industry with a very particular problem. It's hard to kind of make money doing that. It's impossible to scale. So what we're doing is just kind of taking the background is a generalized approach. In the foreground, it's a very customized approach.
So you ultimately, though, could sell multiple apps in a package of
Yeah,
apps
totally.
that came in one, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're a new retailer, you're probably going to want this app. You're going to want our supply management app to manage your drop shippers. You're going to want our shipping app. Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any kind of affiliate option where if somebody wanted to start
Good question.
sending clients to you? And,
Yeah, absolutely. We're actually working on that model right now, but that's a big part of our marketing.
because I want to have some clients and can try to target some as I'm meeting with my clients.
Okay, yeah, we should definitely talk about that.
Yeah, when we did our accounting sync app, we actually partnered with somebody who's a QuickBooks solution provider, 'cause that's a whole ball of wax we don't want to deal with. And actually we basically split the business with them. So because we have lots of apps, we don't mind giving an affiliate business for people who can help us grow that business. So there's going to be other industries that we have very little knowledge about. As you move into some of those other industries you saw, they're like homeowners associations and veterinarians and funeral directors. This is not an area that we have very deep contacts in. So our strategy is to work with affiliates in that industry to help us not only build the app, but reach that market.
So how are you finding customers now?
We are going through the marketplaces. So Etsy is a really good example of that. I mean, Etsy, I don't know if you're all familiar with Etsy, but Etsy is, it's got 300,000 sellers. Yeah, and so when we built this app just for Etsy, we're like the only inventory management app for Etsy. That's because there aren't really very many any apps for Etsy. But maybe 10% of the Etsy users have a real inventory management issue. The rest are maybe not selling enough or don't have enough inventory to matter. Those folks really, they're all using spreadsheets. So when we go into the forum and say, hey, we have an inventory management solution, we had tons of signups. So we actually are trying to manage that process.
Careful what you ask for.
Yeah, right. So 1,000 or 2,000 Etsy customers, goes a very long way. So that's sort of our general strategy.
In other words,
Yeah.
when you start in one, it just kind of blossoms.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, and we have some criteria for picking the specific apps that we're going to develop, and one of them is that we need to make sure that the group of people that we're trying to target actually have some place where they get together, either virtually online or maybe a once-a-year conference that we could attend. So there are definitely, that cancels out a lot of possible apps that we could create. There are definitely some small business types out there that would be definitely hard to get in front of, so.
Hey,
Part of
Jen.
our criteria. Yeah.
Go ahead, no, go first.
Have you guys thought about how you may get into the WordPress shopping cart business? Because it seems like
That sucks.
I don't know, if I'm starting an e-commerce site and I usually got to buy a shopping cart,
Yeah.
just a good one for WordPress. That'd be something that you guys can tag team or.
There's a couple of them that are out there. They're none of them.
That
are very
particular
good.
example just is hits a nerve, I think.
Oh, okay, you've been
That's
there.
so hard,
Yeah.
The WordPress e-commerce system is just so
So
terrible.
Right, I know.
But obviously that means there's a need there for a good one. So yeah, that's something that we would look into.
Especially if you can keep it really simple. There's have you heard of BigCommerce?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think of the BigCommerce folks?
I did the free trial and then deleted it.
Okay.
Yeah, and just
I don't know why the shopping cart solutions, they just never seem to build stuff that works.
Yeah,
It's like,
never as good as the site.
never.
You know, they're actually.
But anyway, that's the whole community. We actually started from, when I had it, the first shopping cart after the acquisition was where WP e-commerce, and it was just a big mess.
Did did I see an entertainment section on there?
Yeah, right, so like booking bands and
We should talk after.
Venue management, venue management.
Let's talk after.
That's why we're here. Everybody's here.
Love it.
Everybody's here.
Nobody's here to listen.
So I'm gonna hand it over to Dave, thank you.
That's optional. Except for the video photos. You're on.
Same way, number 2. I'm Dave Robson. I'm a retired public school science teacher. And the act that we'll be looking at is very much scratching an old itch, a 20-year-old itch. And it's interesting that I started this process just 100 yards from here over at Towson High School. If you walk behind this building, you'll be staring at that place. And when I started, I hit right into the new teacher difficulties. These are ancient, well-known problems. They're coming under a little more scrutiny now because there is a demand for teachers to do a good job. Traditionally, that's not been at the top of the list. And so, I know this sounds a little humorous, but teachers' primary responsibilities are these two, and so we're going to look at how to plan instruction. And my first week on the job over here was very much okay, here you are, here's your schedule, it starts in 2 days, go for it. And it was very much of a catastrophe. And I taught a different topic each day, that made a lot of sense. And at the end of the week, I was pretty much burned out and complained to somebody down the hall that I'm not sure Monday was looking pretty good in my game plan here. And that was Patrice Lincoln, who said, you need some rest. Go home and don't worry about this, and here's your Monday lesson plan. And I looked at it, and it was pretty good. And so that started a long mentoring relationship. We didn't use that word in those days. So there's very much a need for mentoring new teachers and also increasing the cooperative workflow. Maryland teachers were surveyed for the first time last year, and they said that a third of them who were new teachers reported that they had a mentor, and it makes a huge difference. The number of ways to teach successfully, there are probably a dozen or more. The number to teach unsuccessfully, tens of thousands. And so if you're kind of randomizing your approach, or you're using the trial and error approach, which is what I did, it's not going to work too well. Here's someone who needed a mentor, second-year teacher, didn't have one. Goes on Reddit and starts asking questions about how he should teach. So this is a geek Q&A site, usually questions about compilers and things. A Los Angeles teacher, Matt Amaral, set up a blog because he was concerned about what he was seeing at his school. And he's an high school English teacher, and he was saying we'll hire 5 or 6 new English teachers each year. One of them's gone in a couple months, a couple more gone. Hey, it's June, I'm out of here, don't look for me next year. And down at the bottom, he says they were, long before the end of the year, they were physically exhausted and depressed. Depressed by basically, well, period 1 was a failure, but I'll look at period 2. Well, that was a failure, something. And so there's accumulations, and sometimes depression is a problem. Los Angeles teachers last February, LA Times published a performance guide for each teacher in the district. And so here's Maria Fragoso, has a graph for math effectiveness and another graph for English effectiveness. She is a 5th grade teacher at 92nd Street Elementary. And wow, she really aced it. The bell-shaped curve here is all of the teachers in Los Angeles. It's the 2nd largest district in the U.S. And she is probably in the 91st or 2nd percentile, I'm guessing, of math effectiveness. Well, what is that? Well, this means how well her students scored on the standardized state tests. It's a very restricted view of teacher effectiveness, but nevertheless, once numbers are available, they really get a lot of play. And so this is in contrast to another fifth grade teacher, Noel Skaggs, who looks like maybe the 8th percentile. And this database is still up, and you can go there and look at any teacher, and it's got 5 years worth of records. And very interesting development. Now, if you kind of look at these two, it begins to look like, let me go back here to Maria. She looks like a mentor for Noel. But he's in the 3rd Street Elementary, and she's in the 92nd Street. So there's like 89 streets in between. So there's no way they're going to mentor unless they do it online. So we'll change over to the software approach to mentoring. So that's where I've been focusing my efforts for some time. And so this is the app. It's a teacher calendar, and the left bar has the teachable content. We have a math course and a history geography course in different colors. The history is in green. And each one of these rectangles is a lesson. There's the pop-up summary of the lesson. We reschedule the lesson to another day like this. We can, if we didn't finish teaching it, we can replicate it and drag over the replica. So we have a fair amount of functionality here that, and then we click on one and we get the details of the lesson. Automatically import the Common Core standards. If you're teaching against state standards, those Common Core are national standards that are not truly national, but they're also state standards. If you have to teach for those, they get automatically imported. Tips from other teachers who have been here before. We have some attached files. This is a history lesson on Paul Revere, so we've got the Longfellow poem and some pictures of Paul Revere and so on. I'm going to bail out of this and go to a different video and see if I can just save time by skipping over this when I get to, okay. So now we're into, this is a different recording of the Paul Revere thing. So it emphasizes different features. So there's a very detailed lesson plan that this particular teacher did not prepare. This teacher can customize it simply by clicking on edit, and open it up and edit anything that's in here. Then save it, and of course one of the nice things is it's saved for next year. So next year to take last year's teaching plan scheduled into the new year is about 3 clicks. It just all gets imported in here. So this is the revising of the lesson plan. So basically what happens here is you have sort of a template recommended lesson. But down at the bottom we have other things going on. This is a personal note. This teacher is going to leave a note for themselves. Too much about his youth. So next year, the things that need to be improved are sort of annotated in here. And then this second box is where we're heading to push the software into developing this, and that is a message board basically where anyone who's teaching this course communicates with anyone else who's teaching this course. So right now it's open to all teachers teaching, what do we have, 4th grade history. And what we're hoping to do is make that very much more of a mentoring situation. So you have kind of broadcast your message board to those other teachers, but also narrowcast, communicate with your mentor. Then the mentor can decide whether to push that message thread to the group in general. Then when it's time to improve these lessons later, you have essentially a knowledge base of what people are complaining about. So That's the formal part, so I'll shut up for questions.
Did you write this program yourself, or?
This is the third version. I wrote the first two and hired a professional programmer to do this one. So I'm doing the specs and the testing and the PD on it, but I'm not doing the coding.
Is everything online as far as
Yeah,
your
it's a
services?
SaaS system, yeah.
How are you charging for it? What's your pricing?
Well, it's interesting because the marketing is very much something that I could use suggestions on. Right now I have 2 paying customers and one of them pays a lot, and I'm customizing for that customer. So that I've been focused on them for quite some time. I'm now getting out from under that and looking to sell it elsewhere. So I've been working on selling it myself. I'm not very good at that. And the other issue is people like what they see, but they don't like the responsibility of putting content in. And that's a huge speed bump. If you're running a K-12 system, in my view, you have responsibility for 9,600 lesson plans. You should be able to just, pull them up on a USB stick and give them to a new teacher. But districts don't do that. So they're never regarded as their responsibility, it's the teacher's responsibility. And that's one reason why they don't last very long. So there is a kind of traditional catch-22 there. And so what I think is my natural market would be school districts. Gotten no traction there, moving to charter school districts, and gotten a lot more interest, but no paying customers now. So I'm trying to crack that issue.
What about the homeschool market?
Yeah, I've interviewed some people in homeschooling, and that's a possibility. Okay, that's going to require, I think, a specialized support person. They're very motivated, but very demanding. Yeah.
Have you thought at all about the textbook publishing world?
I used to write sections of textbooks, and yeah, this is in many respects. One distinguishing feature here is you saw what happened for students in here.
Right.
Nothing.
Right. That's what.
And so there are some really big outfits like Blackboard and so forth in this serving students.
I mean, I just know friends of mine who are teachers have to buy a lot of their own books, have to fill their own libraries, and so if they just had it digitally, if you could get content from
right. The textbook publishers are now trying to manage this transition, obviously, to
right. Maybe you can be the middleman.
Yeah, but their business model is going to sell something at a high price to every student, and I don't think that's going to stand up, and I really don't have any affection for helping them do that. I got to tell you, because I used to spend my own money on that stuff, and so I'm thinking, why would I go rip off other teachers?
Yeah, I just can't imagine, I'm not a parent, but I can't imagine being a parent and knowing that, my student's teacher is the one out and there's one copy of the book available, and so if it's in their lesson plan, at least I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
the state of teaching in general is pretty sad at this point, but
right. But on the other hand, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
So
I think that I am a parent. I have a daughter going into 5th grade and a son going into kindergarten right now. I think it's a great thought process. I think that as a parent, seeing my daughter going through middle school, it's scary to see the support that is not there for the public school district. And something like this, as a parent, I would support something like this,
Get some
push
parents
it.
lobbying behind you.
That's
I
a great
really
idea.
think that, if you can market that route, I'm a part of the PTA, if they came to me and presented this to me, we would be how can we push this in our school district?
You just put pressure on the district.
Thank you. I've been blind to that.
Yeah.
If we have time, Frank and I are going to show something that we did as a result of working with some area schools. And I sympathize with you completely, because we've tried to go the district school state route,
Right.
we've gone private textbook folks. We're looking at homeschool, and we're looking at for-profit education.
Well, that's
And, yeah, the interesting thing is that everybody wants to do something, but nobody really does.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's hope for us to bring something new to education. It's just, you know, it's probably gonna have to come in the form of a miracle. But if we do have time, what we're working on is basically a virtual classroom. And some of what you're doing, which is the back-end database of curricula
Uh-huh.
and how to manage that, would
Right.
seg right into the 3D front end that we
Right.
have.
Right.
And it would be an interesting match.
Right.
And then, I'm the world's best marketer, so what that would do for you.
I'm the world's worst.
So what that would
A
do for
statement
you.
only the world's best marketer can make.
That's right, so what that would do for you is amazing. So, when we get around to it,
Okay, well, let's stick around. and-
right, and I have a
chat.
card here
Yeah.
for you.
Okay, all right.
Is there, what other companies are working in this space? And
Here's the problem. This is a natural for a per teacher pricing. The commercial office looks and say, wait a minute, per student pricing sounds a lot better.
Right.
And it sounds about 30 times better, or 100 times better. And so that's where all the traffic is going. I know this sounds, you shouldn't say this in public, but it's,
It's like being recorded.
you know, but I mean, entrepreneurs are not supposed to say there's no competition. And I think there's no competition here because nobody buys. You know, they all figured that out long before I did. But I think, you know, you can see the advantages here are pretty strong.
It feels like it ought to be a wiki, and then the problem with that is that as the teacher, you need to verify what has been put in there, because somebody could say, as Sarah Palin did, that, you know, Paul Revere was really working for the other side.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you're really in trouble when you pull that lesson up and you wanna go and deliver it to the class. So, you know,
Yeah, let's.
you got something, and we really should talk, because,
Okay.
you know, teachers need it, having been an adjunct, and, you know, have a lesson thrown at you, and
Yeah.
it's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you have a question about it, where do you ask them?
Yeah, there's nobody
There
there.
is no. So maybe one more.
Yeah, one more and then we'll
Yeah.
move on to.
Do you know Scott Messenger?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I have met with him a couple times, and we're working on the same edge. We have different sort of tool routes.
Yeah.
And periodically we say, maybe we should get. So we actually did have a meeting and compared apps, and maybe we need to do that again. So,
One thing I told him is that, you know, I used to work at the National Endowment for Humanities, and there's a website that they run called EdCitement that is chock full of lesson plans. And I wonder if it isn't content that you could import.
I'll say just one more thing in that regard. There are sites that share lesson plans, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
But what I need is 180 matched, paced, consistent, authoritative, reliable, proven.
Well, those are all peer reviewed by
Yeah,
teachers.
but I need 180 of them match. I taught chemistry and physics. If I get one good lesson plan, I'm probably behind. Because the time I spent to locate the one good lesson plan and verify is greater than the time it takes me to create one. So the problem is not what it appears at first glance. That's my take on it. It's not, it's a great idea. If you're teaching in a district that doesn't have a curriculum, getting a good lesson plan is terrific. But nowadays, teachers are expected to produce against some standards. And so getting isolated, excellent lesson plans won't get you there. So I think,
like the national meetings or regional meetings that you can go and sort of make
and you can get together and complain about this. It is not advanced as far as you, we can't move very far, so I'll shut up. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Maybe I want to
Change
show
Anyone
website.
need a
Yeah,
laptop?
if you want to,
Yeah,
if you
so,
want to
you can get online.
If you want a Mac or a PC, we can share it out.
His is not connected to the the.
I just want to be able to show a website.
Yeah, okay, great.
Okay, my name is Todd Blatt. I have a mechanical engineering degree from UMBC. I worked at 2 different engineering companies. I got tired of that. I don't know, I can draw really well in AutoCAD and some other, and I have been able to do that for a very long time. And I had known about 3D printing, rapid prototyping, and who's not heard of that? Okay, so it's very cool. You can make stuff. In high school, they showed it to us, and we took like a field trip to Northrop Grumman. And like, this is this awesome machine, and it was printing a rook from chess with an internal staircase. And the only time I'd ever seen shapes like that, my mom had this little ivory sculpture that somebody had like carved little people on the inside. And besides that, I've not seen very intricate shapes. But this machine was at Northrop Grumman, and you couldn't go and use it. It was just this futuristic kind of machine that nobody could use. But a couple years ago, these machines have been more available, and there's a couple companies. My favorite is called Shapeways, and they will accept CAD files from people all over. Can you load up Shapeways.com? Yeah. So you can submit a CAD file to Shapeways, and they'll print it.
Oh, Waze?
Yeah. You can submit a CAD file to them, and it's just like any 3D model, and they'll print it for a very low cost. You don't have to buy the machine, you don't have to pay for, you just pay for the part. Like, here's a ring I made. This is in metal, and it was 3D printed metal. You can order just one of them for like $11, I think this one. And almost everything that I have over here is less than $20. Some things, like this is silver, so it's 3D printed a one-off thing in silver, and it costs $70. But everything else is around $5 to $15.
Is it less expensive if you do more?
No. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff. Maybe you come by.
So
after.
you aren't Shapeways, you're the guy that I come to if I have a picture.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I just make stuff. And I've been.
But how do I find you?
I have a site at bytes2bits.com, and I'm just a designer.
Okay.
I sell a lot of things, and it's not just Shapeways that I do. There's other machines that I've been using, like a laser cutter. So a machine that'll engrave a pattern, or cut through plastic. And these machines are at the Fab Lab. They're these places where people can go and work. So the one in Baltimore is in Catonsville at the community college. Anybody who wants can go there and work and use the printer there, or the mill that's there, or the laser cutter, or the vinyl cutter. And there's all these machines that are, it's open to the public. Yeah, so 4 months ago I left my job and I just sell things, stuff I've made. I'm not really here to pitch a business. I'm just trying to let people know that it exists. This is what I do. I have ideas of businesses that can be applied to this, and there's one, My Robot Nation, that is just starting, and that's somebody who's developed a website where you can go and grab like shapes and build a robot, like just a little action figure, but it's completely customizable, and then it gets printed. It gets sent to a printing company, and they print it and they mail it to you. And I have ideas that are similar to this, and I'm not a programmer, so I can't code this site. But these kind of shapes are harder, but like this one is just like a thumbs up, and it's just it was a 2D shape that was extruded, and a 5-year-old can do it. It's so easy on the website. You can draw in Microsoft Paint, or a thing like Paint on this website, and that's what this picture is, this image popper. You can just draw that shape, which I know a 3-year-old can do, and it just pulls it out, and then you can buy it, and then it comes to your house. So it's any shape you want, and you can make.
What kind of numbers can be produced? Is this for just short, small runs? Or?
Well, you can do a lot, but if you're going like sometimes even more than 20 or 100, depends on the shape, and then you'd want to traditionally manufacture it. But yeah, one-off things are better, or really small little things, because an injection mold might cost 20 grand or 30 grand. So once you're there and you want to make $1 million, then that's the way to go. But some things are even more cost effective, you know, for less than 100 or around there. I've mass produced a couple things, and these were made from, it's a spinning top and a brass bishop. And I used a different website called eMachine Shop, and that gives you free software to, basically you have a machine shop, a traditional mill and lathe and those kinds of things that'll, whatever shape you draw there, then you have to order a lot because of the pricing structure. But if you're doing a whole lot of the same thing, that'd be a way to go.
It's for metal objects.
A lot of materials.
Metal? Can you do metal? Like,
Yeah.
are you dealing with molten metal?
No, I don't do any actual manufacturing. They print, like, this is a 4-sided die, and I made this 2 weeks ago. I just got it yesterday. It cost $5, and it's metal that's glued together. So it's a regular print head that comes by and puts down a glue instead of ink, and it glues together this metal powder. And then they take this glued together metal piece, which is kind of like wet sand, like if you squeeze it, it would break. And they put that in the oven with another metal that melts at a lower temperature. So the glue melts away, and then the other metal gets sucked up in between where the glue was. So this is like, you know, you can stand whatever, hit it with a hammer. It's real metal. And the materials that Shapeways prints in is gypsum and ABS plastic and acrylic and sterling silver. So this is a watch case I'm making, and I put this mesh grill in here, and I have the movement and building a watch that way. But you can do a resin, a lot of different materials. And then eMachine Shop lets you do also a lot. They'll machine it. But yeah, you can print things that you couldn't manufacture. This is I was working on a bikini bra top.
A chainmail bikini.
Chainmail bikini.
Are you going to the red class?
Now we're talking, alright.
It's yeah, chainmail, and it comes out of the machine like this, and this costs $8. And yeah, there's other ways that you can link the material, or not even have links, but just make the design so. Like these rings. I have
The Ren Fair?
Yeah, that stuff's huge there.
Ramble too. I mean, not just chainmail, but, you know,
Yeah,
it's a specific
go make
community
armor.
that-
Yeah, and
I have a booth that. Yeah.
I'm gonna ramble with, yeah, rant says you have.
Sorry.
It's like,
I was
yeah.
showing my son
Yeah,
this.
if you printed that chainmail in a metal,
but was it?
but it wasn't metal, I bet you it would be popular because it's simply the weight
So light.
saving.
Yeah. So there's one material that's you can look at it later, but it looks like metal, but it's plastic.
Doing a good van over.
It's
Where is there a website that you had ordered
Price is
that
Right,
from,
there you
or you had to
Shape-
design that?
I design all these things.
He's
But
the
then-
designer, then he goes to shapeways.com,
illegal.
puts the design in, and gets anything he wants
Yeah,
back.
wow.
Yeah.
Plus the diagrams,
The-
the design diagram that you did, when you get back from Shapeways, they send that to you. And
Well, I'll draw the diagram, but it's like it's a 3D shape. It's not really a blueprint. It's a surface made up of triangles. So it's like a shape.
And that stays in electronic form on your computer.
Right, and you can send that to Shapeways or other companies. I mean, Shapeways is not the only one, but it's a
Do you
personal.
sign away your copyright? Or do you
No,
own
you
the
can't.
copyright?
You can own it, but you grant Shapeways a license to print it, and
Okay.
I have a store on Shapeways, and people buy things there, and I do
Okay.
nothing. It's just, it's not drop shipped. It's made and then drop shipped.
So you geek out on the design, and then somebody else makes it and helps you sell it?
Yeah.
Cool.
And they let you embed it in other websites, so you can have like a widget. Yeah, question.
That was actually my question.
Oh, cool.
I've seen at the Baltimore node, filing away at some of these. Like, how much labor is needed after something is?
It depends on the project. Most of the things come and they're ready, but This is a ring that I sell, and I've been sanding the surface because I want a very, very clear look on one of the parts, and then I dye it. So there's some post-production I do on some models, but that's just a choice of that.
Can you take tag files? Can you look files?
Yeah, that's how it works. And then the Fab Lab at Catonsville is really cool, and people should come. It's $100 the first time you go, and they teach you how to use the machine, and then any other day it's free, and you pay for your materials. But they have a laser cutter, and this is one of the coolest machines. You put anything you want in there, and cut whatever shape you want. And they have a 3D printer that prints in this kind of material. So it's ABS plastic, and yeah, it's cool.
So how's your personal business model come?
I'm not really a business person. I have not learned anything except what I've learned on my own. But it is enough for me to support myself. I started almost a year and a half ago selling things, and then sure, I'm making less now than I was strictly as an engineer, but I don't know, I've made about $40,000 this year in just selling stuff, and that's me doing what I want. I can.
Don't change
Price of history.
Don't change the education.
It's fun. I have gotten in trouble. Most of my, a lot of the things that sell really well are things that are not available elsewhere, but they are copyrighted things. So like the Green Lantern ring is a really big seller, but it's DC Directs. So I kind of operate like Landa Calrissian on Cloud City, where I try to keep the business small enough that I don't get noticed. And there are like forums, like fans of Lost, the show. They all go to this Lost forum, and everybody likes this ring that's Charlie from Lost, and it's the drive shaft ring. But you can't buy it from the store because Lost, the company, the people who make Lost don't really market. They don't care. So the only time I've gotten in trouble was when I made this one, and this is a cube from Super 8. And the reason I got called out was there's another company that has a license to produce this prop, and they saw my post on the replica prop forum, which is kind of like an underground prop site where it's very like high, collectible stuff that people come and they'll pay $500 for silly things, but it's weird. But this prop company had the license from Paramount, and they saw my post, and they were jealous that I was able to produce it faster, and they felt wrong that I was stealing from them or selling what they planned to sell. This movie came out in July, I think, June maybe, and yeah, it came out in June, and they still haven't they haven't shown a prototype or anything. It's September, I don't know, almost September. Tomorrow's September.
They should have just licensed it, sub-licensed it to you.
Yeah,
Exactly. Just say, buy from me.
Yeah.
Right, but
And mark it up.
they're selfish. They didn't want to. I don't know. So they're
They just have red tape.
yes. They had Paramount send me a cease and desist letter, and it was one of the first for a 3D printed object. It was the first for Shapeways, for an object sold here.
Wow.
So I sent it to Corey Doctorow, who's a blogger for Boing Boing. So he put it on the front page. So I got a whole lot of press from that.
Sales might be hard.
Well, I didn't sell any of these because of the letter, but sales of the other things went up.
Yeah.
Because I was getting.
Keep doing that then.
Yeah.
It's a brand thing.
No such thing as bad publicity.
So I got.
Says go.
I got a thing written up in Time about me, about this.
That's good.
Yeah, so.
Just time.
So do you have your own website somewhere?
Yeah, Bites to Bits and InceptionTops.com.
Is it
I think-
number 2 or the letter word 2?
TO. Yeah. And again, this is a website that I made just playing around. Yeah, so I have those. They sell, I guess, 1 or 2 a day. So I make like $30 a day from Inception Top, and then maybe a couple hundred a week from the Green Lantern ring. And sure, a year from now they're not going to be selling as well, but there'll be another movie.
That's great.
So if you look on the bottom on the left,
Next Batman.
yeah, I have. Yeah. These are things that go right to Shapeways. So those ones go here, and then you can buy it here. So here's the Harry Potter necklace for $13, and I get I think $8 every time somebody buys that. So and there's 2,000 views on that one, and I also have a spinning one for the center circle spin. So people can buy things that I've never held. I've sold products that I've never, like, I don't know, just things they order. That's why some of them don't have pictures, because I haven't seen it. Because I don't want one, but I know that somebody else wants one. So, I don't know why I came. I just came to show and tell. I like
If we came to you with an idea to sell something, do you have a way to be able to, like, you get a cut and then the designer, so to speak, concept get a cut? Would you handle
Yes.
it?
I have done some things like that. It's really hard. I don't really know how to say, all right, this is my rate. This is how long it'll spend me designing it.
Call me,
Just wing it.
I'll tell you.
And you can do really small runs for very specific events. Hammond Fest is next weekend. It's a festival. One of the things they have is a toilet bowl cart racer. Where
Nice.
people have to build a
Do a beehive before you go.
beehive.
Do a beehive hairdo for him to.
I made these toilet bowl racer cars. That's right. So I made a dozen. There's only 12. I'm bringing them there, and people can buy it from the site or whatever. Yeah, just
Couple suggestions.
Sure.
For kids' crafts, gift cards, or gift certificates. Here's your 12-year-old kid who likes crafts. Give him a $40 gift certificate to go here and make stuff. If it grows a bit, maybe try another $15 to get the video of your device being made. An iPod case embossed with custom messages.
There's a lot of people who do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe that's not a lot.
There's a lot, and then there's scanning technology, which I think once printing gets bigger, people will pay more attention to.
What's scanning?
The reverse of 3D printing. You can take a real world object and create a CAD file from it by putting it in this magic machine.
If I had a unique sample of amethyst, really beautiful, could it be physically scanned so that you could print a custom mount for it, snap right in?
Yeah. Here's, this is hard to see because I printed on a bad machine. But this is my face. It's a 3D scan of my face. And so there's a company that'll scan your face. It takes 3 seconds. And then you can have that CAD file and put it on anything you want. You can print out a little donkey head with your face on it, or your friend's face, or whatever you want. You can just, or if you have like I don't know, a camera, and you want to make a case for it, you can scan that. So you can put that in the scanner, and it takes the model, so you have the exact shape of the scanner. So there's a company in Owings Mills that's one of the best in the world for scanning. They're Direct Dimensions, and they.
My friend works for them. If anyone needs contact.
Yeah. Who's that?
Pete Kennedy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he does the buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you offering anything to like the gamer community?
I forgot what kind of game.
Like the cult games, like World of Warcraft and stuff.
So for World of Warcraft, there's a company that lets you print your avatar.
Okay.
I don't remember the name of that.
Well, I'm just thinking like, what has more cult following online than the gaming community?
Yeah. For World of Warcraft.
And they would like something physical from what they've accomplished online.
Yeah. One of the big sellers on Shapeways is this ring that was in one video game. I sell like Dungeons and Dragons dice. These are the 4-sided die.
Cool.
Yeah, stuff like that. And there's a lot of stuff from games. I like movies.
Okay.
Yeah, there's other people who do other
Very
things, but I'm not really saying that you should use the technology to make movie stuff. Because there's a lot of original designs here. There's like DNA earrings.
Have you thought about selling through other, like, a friend of mine owns a clothing company called Heroin Clothing, and they're big in like the Warped Tour scene, that kind of stuff, and he has a lot of like limited edition, like he'll do the swallow birds, and he'll have, or like anchors, and anchors like his thing. Have you ever thought about like partnering with like other small?
Yeah, I guess.
Cause like he does a lot of like t-shirt printing and hoodies and stuff, but jewelry he gets elsewhere, I know
Yeah.
that for a fact.
I guess, I mean, I can partner with kind of anybody who wants something. I'm kind
Or
of
like
bogged down
bands
with.
or,
Yeah.
you know,
It's just
like I know like Slipknot fans. My old roommate used to manage Slipknot, and like Slipknot fans, there's millions and millions of them, and they would all love like a necklace with like that S on it. And if you're working directly with the band, you get permission and you do it.
Right.
Or like, you know, Paul Gray died, so you do his mask.
I guess what I
stuff
would
like
need
that.
is someone to go to them and say, here's the thing I want. Because some things will take me 5 minutes to do, but 3 hours or 2 days to work out a meeting to go to the guy who wants the thing that you'll make some of. And I don't know, I haven't done that.
You're not like there yet?
I'm not,
Or are you there yet, you just haven't done it?
I'm not that guy. Right now I'm doing all of the design
So you
and,
need a business manager.
Sounds
So we
good.
need to-
So let's, just sort of in the interest of very good time.
Yeah.
Well, we usually have a discussion, but it looks like we're not gonna have time for that. So we have one more demo here, and then was anybody interested, just so that I know, in the discussion on scaling, or were people here kind of flexible and? Okay, so we have people interested in discussion on scaling. So we're just mindful of the time. So probably for the next one, is it okay if we move that to the next one? But we'll have more. If people want to show stuff at the next one, just let me know kind of in advance. You can tell that we're a little flexible on time here, but I do want to make sure that we can fit them all in. So it probably looks like maybe 3 or 4 is probably the capacity for these sorts of things.
What if we should do what like they did anyone go to the Think Big Baltimore, the last event they did was like a pitch session and everyone had like 7 minutes. Maybe we do like a 10-minute thing. Like you have 10 minutes to pitch your thing.
On a timer. Yeah, put it on a timer. I think we'll put it on a timer, and then some time for questions after that.
Exactly.
Okay, good. We will do that. You're on for the next one.
Deb, you have any
I don't have anything. No, I'm just
World's best marketer
Okay.
out.
So you're on.
Leaving my partner. I have a 10 o'clock and I have to go. But we're immersive 3D. Frank and I have combined over 50 years in computer gaming, and we're involved in a small startup now to hopefully take the woeful state of education and move it into what we hope will be a better way. So Frank's going to show you what we call the virtual classroom, and
This is a
he'll
replica
take it
of-
from here because I do have to go. But thank you
Okay.
very much. I
Okay.
really appreciate it.
Can everybody see all right? Because we dim the lights because it is.
Just give me a moment.
It's,
Okay, here you go. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm not, can everybody see this all right? Should it dim the lights? Okay, all right. I know I can't say it too well from here. Okay, so anyway, this is a replica of Woodlawn High School. It was one of the first prototypes I did. The idea here was to encourage high school students to want to take some lessons. And Woodlawn was one of the schools that was doing well, but they still wanted to look at different ways to encourage students to go in and take some lessons. So, I guess there's no sound here. But this is a model actually of the principal, how he looks as well. So he really enjoyed that model, and we really didn't need to do that. I mean, most everything should be generic. But I'll just go in down here. This is the first prototype. So we'll go into the science classroom. And one of the things that we were doing also really to show value for the software is there's an electron microscope in with this lesson. Some of the things that teachers wouldn't really be able to afford to have in their normal classroom. So I'm going to go really fast here because I know we are short on time. But there's the electron microscope. Let me just go ahead and fire that up. And everything, all the lessons are also in the cloud online, so they can be changed, uploaded by teachers, and have different things happen here. And let's see, it's going to go out and try to, unless it's blocked somewhere. It tries to bring in lessons. Oh yeah, it is being blocked. Wait a minute. Normally they pop up over the window, but I guess it's okay, it's missing some plugins.
Okay, so I'll return back to the classroom. And what it is just basically what you see here. Oh yeah, and this was a AI student, but everything is multiplayer now, where all the students can go in and log into the same classroom, and we're building this great big science school right now for a STEM project called Physics Fun for middle school students. What they'll have is they'll have one classroom that will have all of the lesson, all the curricula, videos. So if there's videos associated with the lesson. Let's see if this will play. I guess it's got this flash. It's not working. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Okay, so it would have the video that would be on the television, all the things that the teacher wants to add. And one of the things we tried to do as well was we found out when we went to school systems, their curriculum was all over the place. They had some stuff in QuickTime, some MP3s, you name it. So we just kind of set everything up so everything is externally referenced. We don't care what it is. It's pretty much agnostic to whatever the curriculum is. We had things set up for assessment as well. So let me close this list. And I'll show you some other stuff just to get through here really fast. But there was an exam computer on here too where you went in and this was a plant and animal cell lesson. Some of the things like that where you would actually take the lesson, save it to the database. And I do want to show you one other thing really, really fast here. On the light microscope as compared to electron microscope, you would be able to really see the difference between what you can see in a cell in a light microscope versus an electron microscope. So there's a lot of value actually added to the lesson. Okay, so I am going to, let's see if I can get out of here. Windows kind of compressed them. Let's see. One of the other things that we were looking at was some of the schools really, want to multiplayer. And again, everybody could log into this. We have a character modifier now because students were really big into being able to go in and change their character, but we have kept everything so that it's appropriate for school dress codes and things like that. So they can't really punk out too bad. I was very surprised how teachers were asking me more questions about their character modifier than the lesson plan itself. So this one here, it's going to actually ask me to start a server, and I could pick one of these, and it doesn't really matter now. But everything is online. Oh, it keeps blocking stuff. And then here for multiplayer, of course, you would want to be able to chat to your friends and have that type of thing, going on. I could probably open up more than one window right now. And then let me see if this works. Okay. No, I can't send it anywhere, but I have a little Java thing for voice messaging if you're online with your friends. It's not really live. It kind of records the message, throws it up on the server, and brings it down real fast. But it makes it a little bit more fun to go into the lesson with your friends. And actually, I'll show you this. This ended up, I was trying to work with a book publisher who was trying to sell their program to Hewlett-Packard, and this demo actually ended up being used for a Hewlett-Packard demo. So some of the things that you'll see up here are Hewlett-Packard commercials and Hewlett-Packard propaganda. What we didn't know was Hewlett-Packard was trying to do a virtual world at the same time. So I don't know if they really wanted us to really be showing our 3D virtual world versus theirs. And really, I took it out because it's online. I didn't want anybody to see it. But we actually had it at one time where it, you're supposed to. 'Cause, 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 it actually started their virtual world from inside of ours. This was one of the things we did for a school. All right, so I'm going to keep moving as fast as I can.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
why
we
am I
may be
quick?
kind of close
Am I done?
Yeah, this is definitely, you want to, maybe the next time we can
Okay.
follow up.
Well, there's STEM lessons and things like that with mermaids, swimming underwater with submarines the idea is it's STEM, to teach underwater acoustics and things like that. And all these programs, the virtual school really serves as an organizer, so that you can have a science classroom, and in the science classroom, underneath the aquarium, you click on the aquarium and it takes you in this virtual world and teaches you with mermaids and submarines about underwater sounds and things like that. And the Navy wanted that for STEM teaching. Their theory was in physics that every child is born with a love for science and physics, but by the time they graduate from high school, they hate it. So they were trying to really push this thing for fun. So I'll stop. I know we're out of time.
Very good. How much, if people want to mingle here, how long do?
I don't think this is booked. I'll double check.
Can we just go really quickly around so we can do like a quick intro?
Sure, and then, why don't you say an
Oh. I'll start. Stephanie from Local Up Solutions. We're a software company that provides a white label solution for local entrepreneurs who want to start online food ordering and restaurant guides in a local market. So I do all of our marketing, communications, public relations, related things. That's all.
I'm Jen. I'm the VP of Local Up Solutions. I run the help desk, which is the support system for all of our licensees who come on board with Local Up Solutions.
I'm Drew Geronik. I'm a corporate attorney here in Towson. My office is close by.
I'm George Faber from SF&C Benefits. We've been in Towson for 31 years at York and Stevenson, about 4 blocks down. We're moving to Owings Mills, but I do optional insurance benefits for public employees, state, federal, city. If you have any coworkers, relatives, friends who work for the city, state, city school teachers, state workers, so they have a flyer. I got others I'll pass out. Also a compulsive shopper and festival goer, so I can tell you about half a dozen different places in town to sell your stuff. That's my hobby. Good. Union. There you go.
I'm Todd, I was the guy who was talking before.
Brian, may you go to that?
Yeah, I'm Brian Sirkowski. For the next 3 days, I'm the Director of Biz Dev at the Greater Baltimore Tech Council, and then after that I'm joining up with these guys as their product manager.
My name's Bill Catterback, freelance mobile app developer.
Steve Gold. My day job is I'm Director of Software Engineering at a local company that does eye care and ENT patient education software. And then my night job is I'm working on a collaborative consumption rental site. So getting started.
Maybe you can demo that next one.
It's not that far along yet.
Okay.
Maybe in a couple months.
Okay.
I'm Karen Johnson. I just retired from Verizon a couple of weeks ago, and I have a lot of experience in SQL reporting. So I'm sort of now looking at next steps and what I want to do.
Okay.
Lucy Clark. I have a graphic design studio. Been in business for almost over 25 years. And basically I'm a graphics geek. I love all things web and app. So just looking to partner and also help sell these amazing things that I'm seeing here.
Mark Scrimshire, probably better known on Twitter as eKite Mark. I'm a technology consultant, hacker, and social media coach. My night job is I run Health Camp Foundation, which organises conferences that empowers healthcare engagement.
J.R. Maroney, I'm a professional ninja. I can assassinate anyone. Just let me know, we'll talk about it. And I also do consulting for open source systems.
I'm Frank Viverito, Immersive 3D, and we're doing 3D on the web, mostly focusing on training, education, and those type of things.
Okay, Ron Schmelzer with Bozella, and I'm organizing this thing. And for next time, we're probably going to do 3 or 4 spots. So if you have anything you want to show, tell your friends. I think the next one may be
These folks didn't.
No, I'm gonna just keep.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think the next one, I don't know if we set the venue. I think the next one might actually be at the ETC. But if you want to keep it here, just go into the poll, let us know, because we'll do it where it's most convenient. And Clay has been extremely gracious in letting us host it here. So that's all I have to say. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm David. You know my story.
My name is Dwayne Whitfield. Currently serve in the U.S. Navy. Came down here. I was actually stationed in the Middle East for like 2 years. I started a business over there doing custom suits. I had tailors over there, make suits, and I had did videos to get measurements and get them back here. Also launching a startup. Took out like 22 days to leave. I'm launching a startup where I basically it's called Make Your Own Deal Auto, where basically the customer posts what they want to pay for a car, and I actually fill that request out to different dealerships I'm associated with. So I'm taking time to launch that. So that's why I'm here, and I also got a couple of apps coming out for the Android and iPhone market.
My name is Stephanie Rano, and I work for a company called Profiles, and we do recruitment in emerging technology. So we work with some larger enterprise business, but it's amazing to hear about the energy in the entrepreneurial world. So I'm often taking that back to my clients and saying, this is what's going on, and they're coming to me going, I don't know how to get these apps done, or do you think I should do this in social media? So focus is emerging tech, digital marketing, online marketing. So that's it.
My name's Aaron Alcher. I'm running a startup called Bullhorn Mobile. We have a mobile app that allows you to ask a local question and get a local answer, all geolocation relevant. And I would also like to invite everyone to the Baltimore Tech Happy Hour on, what day is it? The 13th of September at 5 p.m. at the Field House.
Okay.
If that's cool.
And you're going to demo at our next?
Sure.
All right.
And again, Clay Hickson, and if you are interested in any information on the business plan competition, which will have a cash prize as well as membership in the incubator, let me know.
I'm Andrew Hazlett. I've had the privilege for the last few weeks to be Brian's colleague at the Greater Baltimore Tech Council. And I'm the Innovation Community Manager, a newly created position where my job is to connect with this energy that we see in this room and elsewhere around town, and get those people connected with one another and with the resources that exist in Baltimore that not enough people know about. So excited to sort of get started and hopefully be seeing you guys, all of you guys, individually and at other events like this.
Awesome. All right. Well,
Where is this video going to be published?
yeah, where's this video getting published?
This is going to be published on YouTube.
Also, who's holding the camera?
I am Eli, the computer guy.
Turn that around.
Video guy.
Oh, they see enough of me. So I'm Eli, the computer guy. I have a computer repair shop in Baltimore, but what this is part of is my pet project that was actually a failed business with something called everymanit.com, where we actually have practical computer training, like things like data recovery, fixing laptops, the stuff that doesn't get taught in colleges or technical schools. And so part of this is I'm now up to about 2,500 views per day on YouTube, and what I'm trying to do is get my followers into what is it in the real tech world. We all sit in these college classes, and then as soon as you get out into a real job, you have no idea what the hell's going on, like these programming classes. So the idea is with this, is I actually show these guys, this is how programmers really talk. This is how they really think. All that homework is homework. That's not the real world. This is how we do things. Kind of like the quote I love from you, where it was the reason we don't have competition is because nobody wants to buy this stuff. But that is brilliant. That is because so many people say, "There's no competition. I'll take over the world," and then they every man IT. It was a great idea that failed miserably. So yeah.
It only took me 2 years to cover it.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess keep it popping. There's lots of big.
So that was the Baltimore Tech breakfast over here at the Towson Global Incubator. Like I say, you know, as I said going into this, was about 2 hours, but you got to see the real spiel. These are real startup companies, really actually trying to create a product and really actually trying to sell it. So, you know, I know when you see the news, when you see CNN and MSNBC, they make it sound like, you know, Facebook was just, you know, Mark Zuckerberg just, you know, laid the Facebook egg and all of a sudden he was a billionaire. I mean, that's not how it works. You actually really do have to create a product. You really do have to create a business plan. And then, well, you have to actually go out there and sell it. You know, it's not simply about creating a good idea. It's about creating a good idea. It's about creating a good product. It's about creating a good business plan. And it's about, frankly, at the end of the day, a whole hell of a lot of luck. So let's go over some of the things that we saw today, so that you can think about this, you know, when you're going out there to hopefully find some group, like I say, like the Baltimore Tech Breakfast. Now, the Baltimore Tech Breakfast, like I say, this is on a meetup. You can go to meetup.com, find these guys. You sign up for their group, and then, like I say, this is free. You don't have to pay anything. You know, you just say that you're a geek and come. If you don't know what the hell you're talking about, just keep your mouth shut. You know, don't ask really stupid questions. You know, like I say, if you don't know what's going on, just grab a seat in the corner and just sit down for 2 hours and listen to the professionals talk. But one of the things that I would say is to think about, remember, in this YouTube generation, more and more people are going to be videotaping things like this. When they videotape things like this, you are going to be able to get more and more coverage, publicity, simply for the fact that you're standing up and speaking, and somebody like me is recording. So if somebody is recording a meeting that you're in, think about playing to the camera. You know, think about actually standing up and looking at the camera so that people can see your face, and all those people on YouTube or whatever video platform can feel like they can get to know you. Like the guy David that did the virtual lesson plans or lesson plan sharing. He's very good with that. He actually stood up. You could see his face. He did his spiel. So even though you were at home, here in Baltimore, in California, or off in the Indian Punjab, you feel like you actually know the guy. And if you think that you might want to buy his product, you might actually go out and buy his product. So if anybody has a camera, always treat the camera as if it's another audience member. That's going to, you know, get you publicity at the end of the day. Think about the thing I was talking before about the poetry. Remember I had that stupid little video about the power of poetry, about presenting not just ideas and concepts, but the feeling about it. Think about the guys that you saw here today. We saw 4 different companies. You know, we saw the inventory control, we saw the lessons plan, we saw the 3D printing, we saw the virtual reality school. Were they presenting more than simply an idea? Were they presenting more than a price point? Actually, I don't think any of them presented a price point. But you know, were they presenting a feeling, an emotion? Any of the guys here, any of the products that they were selling, do you feel like you need to go out and buy it, or that somebody you know should go out and buy it? We saw really, really cool stuff. I mean, everything that we saw today is real world stuff. We saw inventory control for things like Etsy. We saw lesson plans, virtual lesson plans. We saw 3D printing. We saw the virtual reality school. These are all 4 very cool ideas, very interesting products that the world probably needs. Do you have that feeling now that you saw them? And if you do, or if you don't, think about that when you go out and you're gonna present this stuff to the world. Again, let's see, real business issues. You know, and you know, some of the things we saw today, you know, like I say, these blurbs that come out in the real world that you're not going to see in college classes or technical schools. You know, real business issues. Great ideas don't necessarily make great businesses. I love the quote from David Robson. You know, there's no competition because no one buys it. That's a hell of a quote right there. So you're sitting there and you're thinking, this is the most amazing product in the world. This is the greatest thing in the world. Why is there no competition? I'm going to take over this market. Well, here's the thing. If nobody's willing to buy your product, who the hell cares? But then on the converse is, you know, the quote from the guy who does 3D printing, you know, they'll pay $500 a piece for silly things. Can you sell silly things and, you know, for a good price? Here, hold on a second. We have to let somebody go by. No worries. And there we see the wonders of low-cost video production. Yes, where else on TV can you see a mother and her little kid go wandering by while a tech guy is talking about stuff? You can only see that on YouTube. damn it, I'll make that a selling point if I have to. But anyway, see, poetry, emotion. You just saw a mother with a child walk by. Cool. Anyway, so like I say, on the selling point, you know, there's no competition because no one buys it. Just because you think it's a good idea, just because there should be a market for it, doesn't mean there actually is a market for it. Doesn't mean you're actually gonna make a dime for it. It's a beautiful thing. On the other hand, there's some stuff out there, really stupid crap, that people will pay $500 for silly things. These are the things that I want you to think about as you go out to sell your business, as you go out to sell your idea. Because like I say, this is the real world. The real world doesn't usually make a damn bit of sense. Yeah. So again, as we've talked about, this was a meetup, the Baltimore Tech Breakfast. As you know, I'm Eli the Computer Guy over here at EliTheComputerGuy.com, everymanit.com. We're going to start doing a lot more of this stuff because I really think it is good for you guys. There's more to the world than tech school. There's more to the world than academics and getting college degrees and all that crap that people like me that are bosses and employers really don't give a damn anymore about. What we care about is in there. We care about actually doing something that does something. We don't care about your certifications. Nah. But anyways, as you know, I'm Eli the Computer Guy. This was the Baltimore Tech Breakfast Meetup. Like I said, if you're in Baltimore, come to it. If you're somewhere else, I'm sure you have other meetups. Go to that. And I'll see you at the next one of these things.